Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the final part of the social psych unit. 5 parts. This is part 5. We're going to talk about the 3 A's: altruism, aggression, and attraction. We're going to end it up. We're going to wrap up our unit with a little talk about love. Okay, let's get started. Here's our 3 topics. Why do people engage in pro social behavior? This is behavior characterized by a concern for other people's feelings, their rights, their welfare. Usually, you have empathy, concern for others, people behaving in ways to help or benefit other people. That's all pro social behavior. Sometimes you hear the word altruism. That means an unselfish regard for the welfare of others. You're not thinking about yourself, you're just concerned about other people's well being. So, why do we do these things? Couple theories. One theory is called the social exchange theory. This proposes that pro-social behavior is the result of an exchange process where people are trying to maximize benefits and minimize costs. So people are calculating, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, the potential benefits and risks of social relationships. So that would be the social exchange theory. Another idea is called the reciprocity norm. And this is just a tendency that if a sense that if somebody does something for you, then you feel obligated to return the favor. You might, again, this might be conscious, it might be subconscious. For instance, it could be your new neighbors bring you over a plate of cookies to welcome you to the neighborhood. And then you sort of feel obligated to return the favor when they ask you to do something like take care of their dog while they're on vacation. So it's I'll do this for you, do this for me, I'll do that for you. There's also something with pro-social behavior called superordinate goals. These are shared goals that override the differences among people and require people to come together to meet them. So a superordinate goal, the biggest one I can think of would be like addressing climate change. All the countries have to overcome their differences and work together. All the people in a country have to overcome their differences and work together. So that would be a superordinate goal. Okay, what about aggression? So social psychologists want to study aggression, why it happens. First of all, what is it? Any physical or verbal behavior intended to hurt or destroy. And the key thing there is intention. Accidents don't count as aggression. If you accidentally got in a car accident and somebody got hurt, it wouldn't be considered aggression. It has to be intentional. So after tons of research, psychologists have figured out that there's a nature and a nurture component to why aggression happens. So what about nature? There are some genetic influences. When they do research on twins, that's a great way to study nature versus nurture. They show that there is a link, a correlation between twins who are highly aggressive. Some tend to have a twin that is also aggressive. They've also linked aggression to the Y chromosome. That is men. Men are much more aggressive than women. 75% of all violent crime offenders in 2006 were male, and I imagine that number is about the same every year. So there's something about men that brings about more violence. They think it has to do with testosterone. So testosterone is a biochemical influence. They've done research on animals. If they castrate animals, they have less testosterone, they become docile. If they inject animals with more testosterone, they become more aggressive. They even did a research on hyenas, and in the womb exposed female hyenas to more testosterone, and then when they were grown up, those females were more aggressive. Another biochemical influence is the neurotransmitter serotonin. So low levels of serotonin, there's a correlation with aggression. It doesn't cause it, but it's a correlation. An environmental factor is alcohol. People who drink often get more violent. Not everybody, of course, but the stats are pretty staggering. People who've been drinking commit about 3 million violent crimes per year, which is about 40% of all violent crimes. That's rape, robbery, assault, some pretty serious stuff done under the influence of alcohol. A lot of domestic violence as well. Okay, so what's an explanation? There's one explanation of aggression called the frustration aggression principle. It's a principle that when someone's get frustrated, and by frustrated we mean they're blocked, they have a goal and they get blocked. Then they get angry, then they get aggressive. So it's the frustration leads to anger, leads to aggression. Here's a nice chart, shows you all the biopsychosocial explanations for aggression. I'm just going to let you pause and read through those. I'm not going to read them all to you. Okay, let's go on to attraction. This is my favorite part of the unit. Why are people attracted? What causes attraction? What maintains attraction? Two of the things that really cause people to be attracted have to do with location, proximity, and the mere exposure effect. So they've studied people at colleges, and geographic nearness is one of the best predictors of friendship. For instance, two people who live in the same dorm, who are on the same hallway, whose rooms are adjacent, a much better chance of becoming friends than any two people who are in different dorms or in apartments or anything like that. So just being near people sometimes is a powerful predictor of friendship and attraction. The mere exposure effect is the idea that repeated exposure to something new, a novel stimuli, increases attraction. So I learned about this while I was in college, and I was like, well, I wonder if I could use this to help me out. Maybe I could. I needed help. I was having trouble finding dates. So the next class after I learned this, I went to a new class next semester, and I just sat next to a girl who I thought was cute. And I'm like, well, let's try the mere exposure effect. And by the end of the term, I was able to go on a date with her just by sitting next to her all semester. So it worked for me. It ended up not working out, but I did end up on one date. So I called that success. Okay, what about stereotypes? There's this weird thing with physical attractiveness. The physical attractiveness stereotype, people tend to assume that other folks who are attractive also possess other socially desirable traits. They're nice, they're friendly, they're funny. The saying is, what is beautiful is also good. So it's this stereotype of attractive people have these other positive qualities as well. This is also called the halo effect. I talked about the halo effect in one of the other videos when it was like about a company or a product. Well, it can be about people also. They're attractive physically, and we think their personality is more attractive because of the physical attractiveness. Another thing that leads to attraction is similarity. Similar views among individuals cause the bond of attraction to strengthen. Like if you're at a party and you're talking to somebody you don't know, and you start talking to them and you find out you have things in common with them. You both like to do this, you both like to do that, you like this movie, you like this book. Similarity can lead to attraction. Once you are attracted and maybe in a relationship, a couple of things that keep attraction going. One is a sense of equity, and another one is self-disclosure. Equity is the idea that when people receive from a relationship the same as what they put in. It's also called reciprocity. So you provide someone with support and love and caring, and when you're in need, they provide you with support and love and caring also. Sometimes if there's not equity, if you're in a relationship and it's been going on for a while and you're sensing there's not equity, that's sometimes the reason that sometimes people break up. Self-disclosure can help a relationship also. Self-disclosure is revealing intimate aspects of yourself to other people. So as you get to know someone, you reveal more about your family or more about your past or more about your personality. And the other person's doing that too. So self-disclosure can strengthen a relationship. I do have a tip for you. With the self-disclosure, you don't want to dump it all out there on the first date. You might want to just a little bit at a time. Just saying. Okay, what about love? Psychologists have classified love into two different types: passionate and compassionate. So, passionate is usually at the beginning of the relationship, it's real intense. It's arousal, it's physical, it's passionate love. Then there's compassionate love, which is the deep, affectionate attachment you feel once your lives are intertwined. Okay, last thing here is this idea called the triangular theory of love. And I don't want your mind to go to the wrong place. We're not talking about three people. This is a triangle about what love is. Um, Part one, intimacy. Part two, passion. Part three, decision or commitment. And what I mean by those three parts, intimacy is your feeling of closeness, connectedness. Passion is the romantic drives, the physical attraction, the sexuality. And then decision or commitment is that once you decide that you like or love the other person, and once you are committed to maintaining that relationship. So that's a triangular theory of love, that true love, meaningful, lasting love, has those three parts. All right, that's a wrap. That's the end of our social psych unit. Remember, the whole thing with social psych is that the social situation influences what we do, how we act, and our attitudes. See me in class if you have any questions.